Part 1: Layout and Objects. We have prepared a scenario for you that everyone knows: changing tires in a car repair shop. To start, open the IMA Work Designer, go to File, Load Project and select the tutorial.ima file. Is the project loaded, we can take a look at the user interface. At the top of the software, there is the menu bar. Here scenarios can be loaded and saved, files imported and exported, or general settings and the help can be opened. In the tabs below, the work areas are located. In the Simulation Project tab, information of the project can be found, for example the name of the scenario or the cycle time. Further tabs are Objects, Tasks and Results. In the tab Objects, the objects used in the scenario are displayed in the tree view. Via the arrows on the left-hand side, parent structures can be unfolded to work with the subordinate objects. On the right-hand side, there are the parameters of the selected object, in this example of the human model, with the categories Basic Parameters, Anthropometry, Phenotype and Documentation. The 3D area is located in the lower part of the user interface. On the left-hand side, there are the settings for view and interaction, layout, documentation and user views. The biggest part of the lower area is the 3D view, where the navigation and manipulation of objects takes place. Below that is the play menu to start and stop the playback of the simulation. Let's look at the mouse control and navigation in the 3D view. Recommended is the use of a mouse with a mouse wheel. By clicking the left mouse button once, objects are selected. A double click changes into the layout mode, but more on the topic layout later. By clicking the mouse button in the middle, the mouse wheel, a camera rotation point is set. By holding down the mouse wheel and moving the mouse, or by rotating the mouse wheel, you can zoom in and out of the scene. The right mouse button opens the object context menu with a single click on an object. By holding down the right mouse button and moving the mouse, the camera rotates around the rotation point. When holding down both the middle and the right mouse button, the entire scene can be shifted. When importing objects into a scenario, there are two options: from the integrated library or from a geometry file. In the first case, we open the library by clicking Add Item from Library. In the library, there are different human models, resources, robots, or geometric primitives. Only geometric primitives can be adjusted size and color-wise. For a scenario, we want to add a few objects from the library. Via the search bar, we can find all available tables by typing in table. In this case, I choose the table with drawer and add the object via the button on the lower right-hand side. To further equip the workplace, I'm adding a computer screen and keyboard. As well as a rolling stool. These four objects from the library are now at the bottom of the tree view in the Objects tab. In the 3D view, they've all been added in the coordinate origin of the scene. To arrange them in a rational way, we must use the layout mode. To change from the navigation or the navigation and selection mode into the layout mode, a double click on the object to move must be made. Alternatively, the mode can be set in the 3D settings. Is the layout mode activated, this green, red and blue compass is visible. By clicking and holding the arrows, the object can be moved along an axis. The filled quarters are for moving in a plane, and via the outer quarter an item can be rotated. By holding down Ctrl and selecting multiple objects, either in the object tree or in the 3D view, we can, for example, move the computer screen and keyboard at the same time. Now they shall both be placed on the table. When both items are selected, we use the layout helper Align by Reference Object Top in the 3D settings. The reference object to select is the table. A question pops up whether the selected objects should be children objects to the table, which we confirm. Afterwards, they are structured below the table in the object tree. To move all 4 objects at once, the stool can be dragged and dropped into the structure as well. To arrange the computer screen and keyboard correctly, we rotate and move the screen to the position we want, rotate the keyboard as well, and then change into the gravity mode. This is done by clicking the collision field in the layout mode settings until the symbol of a G with an arrow is shown. In the gravity mode, immediately after moving an object, we can see where it would land on the nearest surface. This way we can align the keyboard in front of the screen. To accept a position proposed by the gravity mode, the green check must be clicked. Now, by selecting the table as the parent object in the layout mode, everything can be transformed together. We want to move the items into workstation 2. By using the snapping mode, selected in the upper left field of the layout mode settings, the table can be placed perfectly aligned to the existing drawers. Finally, the table with its objects can be moved into the structure of the Workstation 2 under Workstation Equipment. As the other objects here, we lock the structure, so the items cannot be moved anymore. The second way to add objects into the scenario beside the library is the import from geometry files. For this, there's the button Add Objects from File. In our example, we choose the file impactwrench_Schlagschrauber.dae from the IMA geometry folder. The IMA.wd asks whether to load it with its object structure or as a single object. In this case, we want it to have the structure. After adopting the default settings, the impact wrench has been successfully imported into the scene. Now the impact wrench shall be moved into the screwdriver holder on the material trolley. For this, we use the layout helper Align by Reference Object Center and select the holder as the reference object and as the parent item. After a few rotations and movements in the layout mode, the impact wrench is finally located in the holder in the scene as well as in the structure. At this point, we look into the imported items. The object structure of the impact wrench includes 2 gripping points for the right and left hand respectively, as well as the TCP, the tool center point. On the right hand side, in the parameters for object handling, we can add a mass of 1.5 kg and set the hand posture to power grip/pliers cylindrical grasp.